What's up, Arc fam? Noah here with a review of the new Masters of the Universe Cartoon Collection Spikor figure from Mattel. As I said, this is part of the Cartoon Collection series, a subline to the Motu Origin series. So here is the Spikor figure. He turned out really nice in my opinion. I'm going to start out with probably articulation. So if you're not familiar with the Origins figures, their arms can go up and down. You can rock side to side at the elbow, bend at the elbow single joint, almost 90 degree. Straighten that out. Spin at the wrist, which on this side you've got this cool claw weapon. He comes with a extra gripping hand as well. On this hand you have a hinge joint that goes vertical, and he can spin at the waist. He can go outward with a kick about that far, with the leg forwards about that far, backwards not that much, bend at the knee, spin at the boot cut, bend at the ankle, as well as rock side to side. It's all the same for the other leg. This arm, the only difference in articulation is, of course, you have the wrist, and it has the other type of hinge joint that goes in and out, whereas this one goes up and down. So I'm going to show you the card back because I already have this one opened, as you can see. Came on this card back. Here's the artwork. He comes with two artifacts. He comes with this little yellow ball that he's reaching for in the artwork, as well as a red one. And it's as seen on the games, an episode from the original cartoon from Filmation. Here you can see, it says includes the red game piece. You can fit that in the hand. See, he comes with that other regular hand. Then you can twist into powerful battle positions. He's part of the wave with Clawful. And the wave before that had Webstore and Evil Lyn. I will also be doing a review on Webstore as well as Clawful. I do not have Evil Lyn yet, but I should be getting her soon. She's in stock at my local stores. I'm focusing mainly on the core male bad guys because the females are just shelf warmers at all of my local stores. Here's the front of the card back. Oddly enough, this was not glued very well, so once I got it home after I bought it from the store, the bubble practically fell off the card back, so I'm glad that all the accessories were still in there. I managed to pick this one up at Walmart in Asheboro, North Carolina. So his head is made of a slightly more pliable plastic, though these spikes still are pretty sharp. As you can see, let me remove his head. He has a harder plastic on the inside that's cast in silver to actually connect to the joint, but the head itself is a little bit more pliable. Nowhere near as pliable as the vintage Spikor, which I'll bring in later to compare. His armor also has a slightly more pliable rubber over a hard blue torso. Let's see. Also, if you're not familiar, the figure's arms can pop out. As I showed you, the head can come off. They can split apart at the waist. Hands are removable. You can also remove the legs off the joints with a little bit of heat, and you can remove the knees if you heat it up with hot water or like a heat gun. I recommend hot water rather than a heat gun. And then you can also remove the boots, which is actually a really tight fit, but just gotta work your way. There you go, see, it comes out. And they also are labeled, each boot is, This one has an R for the right, and the other boot has an L for the left, to where if you remove them and do mix and match with other characters within the line, you will not put the boots on the wrong foot. So that's nice. Now let's put him back here. And it's comparison time, as Pixel Dan would say. Shout out to Pixel Dan. His channel is an amazing channel. I've been watching his channel for about 4 years now. Also, another YouTuber that I'd like to shout out on my channel that you should check out is the Man-Child. He does great reviews. He's done a review on the Cartoon Collection Spikor as well. Now I'm going to bring in the Origins Spikor from the Vintage Collection Origins figures from Mattel for a comparison. So height-wise, the Cartoon Collection one is a little bit taller, and you can definitely see differences in styles as well as skin tones. And the Origins regular release came with that orange spiked mace, just like the vintage figure. Sorry about that. I accidentally put my finger in front of the camera. Hope this will focus soon. There we go. I'm gonna bring in the vintage Spikor figure as well. Sorry about this. This is my first review on my channel, so I'm a little unprepared. But hopefully my videos will get better as the years go on and as I progress. So here's the vintage figure sitting alongside the Cartoon Collection Spikor, or Spikor. Now I'm going to remove the vintage figure, and I'm going to do some part swapping between the Origins and Cartoon Collection figure. Sorry about this. I don't have a really good camera angle set up yet, so I've got it kind of looking up, but I'm just going to take and remove the head of the Spikor from the vintage and put it on the Cartoon Collection, and put the Cartoon Collection head on the vintage figure, or vintage inspired figure. So as you can see, I've just put the vintage inspired head on the Cartoon Collection. I also threw in that vintage inspired mace, which actually matches very well with the belt and trident weapon of the Cartoon Collection Spikor. Over here, I've just thrown the cartoon head on the vintage inspired body, which is really cool. The vintage inspired one also came with an extended trident, which is what I would prefer to be displaying right now, but I accidentally broke the peg of the figure, so that's a little bit of a bummer, but what can you do about it? Now I'm going to pause this, and when I return, you shall see that I have switched the tridents between the two figures, as well as the boots. Here you can see I have the cartoon head on the vintage inspired body, along with the cartoon trident and cartoon boots, which are black, whereas the vintage inspired one has brown boots. Now I have took the vintage inspired trident and placed on the cartoon body, along with the vintage inspired boots on the cartoon body and the vintage inspired head. So you can definitely do some fun mix and match between the two figures. So that's a really nice element of the Origins figures. Now, as you can see, I've took the vintage inspired body and attached all the parts from the cartoon figure except for the chest, which that's really nice if you like the vintage body better than the modern body. And over here, I have took the Cartoon Collection body and placed it with the vintage inspired head, arms, and legs. So you can do a lot of mix and match between these figures. So that's really fun. Next, I will bring in a few other figures from similar lines from Mattel to show scale between the cartoon collection Spikor and other like figures. So here's a little side-by-side comparison of the cartoon collection Spikor alongside the Turtles of Grayskull Michelangelo, the Rise of the Snake Man Motu Origins Chung Lashor, and the Rulers of the Sun crossover Hypno, as well as Ripster from the new Mattel Street Sharks modern vintage line, or whatever you want to call it. Next, I'll bring in a few figures from other similar scaled lines to show how he matches up. Now here's a group shot of the cartoon collection Spikor alongside Rowdy Roddy Piper from the WWE Superstars line, as well as Triax Skyver from Boss Fight Studios, and Razor from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Loyal Subjects. There's also an Ultimate Warrior from the Masters of the WWE line. He's the second release. They scale nicely, and there's also a cartoon-inspired Mondo Gecko from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I believe was done either by NECA or Super 7. Here's a size comparison of the cartoon collection Spikor alongside the Netflix CGI Beastman, as well as a Marvel Legends Nightcrawler. So he scales pretty well with both. I believe that he scales a little bit better with the Marvel Legends Nightcrawler, but Nightcrawler is on the smaller side when it comes to Marvel Legends, so Spikor will definitely be shorter than most of your Marvel Legends characters. Next, I've brought in a WWE Elite figure, in this case Ultimate Warrior, as well as a McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure, which is basically the same scale as their Witcher series and Spawn figures as well. So this is a good comparison to show how this Spikor would scale with any of those lines. He's definitely shorter, but it could still work as some kind of henchman or goon for one of your main villains. Next up, here's a size comparison to show how he matches up with a Mythic Legions figure. In this case, we have the Stratos Tribute. Sorry, Mythic Legions fans, I do not know the actual name of the character, but he's definitely Motu inspired. So Spikor matches up okay with these figures as well. Next up, we have Spikor alongside the NECA Disney Gargoyles Goliath. Spikor definitely looks like David in comparison. Next up, we have a Throttle from the Biker Mice from Mars cartoon re-release series, which is in the 7-inch scale. These are done by Nacelle. Spikor is definitely too short to scale with these figures. So Mattel, please do some kind of licensing rights thing, or whatever you do. Sign some kind of contract. We want Biker Mice from Mars in the Motu Origins scale and styling. That would be an awesome crossover. Or the least you could do is do a Street Sharks Biker Mice from Mars crossover. That would be even better. Lastly, for the size comparison segment of my video, here is a Master of the Universe, Masterverse, New Eternia Trapjaw figure. He is one of the standard size figures, and Spikor is definitely dwarfed by this figure. But don't worry, if you want a Spikor in that 7-inch scale, Masterverse Revelation Spikor is a fairly decent Spikor in that scale. So if you don't want to pick up this cartoon collection one, I would highly recommend the Masterverse one. So that is my overall review of the new Master of the Universe Cartoon Collection Spikor. Make sure to check him out, and make sure before you leave my channel to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Also, I hope you guys are having a great day. I enjoy doing these videos for you guys, so please help by liking and subscribing. Alright, peace.